district has a family pride. I think it's tomorrow evening. So really just listening to folks and being out in community. And I think you all know this, but you're all my bosses and asking people what I ought to be working on and where I should be directing my attention. And then of course I've got a campaign, so I'm running a very serious campaign all the while. So anyway, thanks for the opportunity to check in.
Okay, thank you, Representative Davis. And really was good seeing you at the Pride flag raising at Shoreline City Hall. We had a really good group there. We are now live streamed. So, Karen, are you able to show the agenda for tonight? I will say that there was a resolution that was properly submitted that we did not get to you, that we have neglected to put on the agenda, but we can definitely do that today as well. Yeah, Charlie, Carl.
Sorry, I forgot to turn everything off here.
Okay. Okay, well, the agenda is in the chat for people to look at. The first thing is we have, let me just, it's been a little bit busy the last couple days, as you can imagine. So first we have is there any candidates who are here who have not spoken? If so, please raise your hand. I know there was at least one candidate for Congressional District 2 who would like to address the audience. And if so, please accept the panelist promotion, and then we'll give you a couple minutes. Yeah, George.
Yeah, sure. I'll go ahead. Hello, everybody. Nice to meet you all. My name's George Stanton. I live in Mount Lake Terrace, and I am going to be on the ballot for Precinct 9 here in Mount Lake Terrace. Yeah, just over the last, I've always been engaged in politics, but over the last several years, I've gotten a lot more engaged. And last year, participated heavily in one of the city council races here in Mount Lake Terrace, and helped to run a lot of the vote builder efforts for that. Through that, I got to kind of understand a lot more about our city, understand a lot more about the process of helping candidates get elected, and kind of got my feet wet and a passion for it. So, I feel like I really, after having cut turf for over, for us to knock over 2,000 doors in Mount Lake Terrace, got a really good handle on the city and my neighborhood in particular, and just want to participate more and be a resource for those who want to run and be able to help with that process. So really great to meet you all, and thanks for this opportunity to speak to you.
Thank you, George. And we'll get to PCO introductions a little bit later, but we do love to hear about people knocking on thousands of doors. Especially in cities that probably have not seen thousands of doors knocked on in quite a while. So thank you for the work that you did there. And are you opposed this year on the ballot, George?
Yes, I will be on the ballot. I'm sorry, if I misheard you there and jumped the gun in the wrong section here.
Oh, no, you're fine. But
okay.
did you are you opposed on the ballot, or are you?
Yes, I believe that I am. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. We're going to turn it over to I believe Tomas is running for Congressional District 2, and then I'll turn it over to Cindy Rio if she would like to say a couple words.
Yeah. Thank you for having me here. If you hear anything crazy, my kids are in the background, so just let you know. Fair warning on that front. I'm Tomas. I fairly recently in my life, about 3-4 years ago, moved here to Washington. I'm a child of the world, though. So I was born in Florida and I've lived in probably about a dozen places. We moved to Washington so that my kids wouldn't have to deal with that. They could grow up and go through K through 12 in one school. Kind of a nice place here in Ferndale that they can walk to elementary, middle, and then high school later. So my story is I'm a veteran. I served for about 7 years in the U.S. Air Force, and then when I got out, I did a small business owner, and I missed it, so I started volunteering as a firefighter. January 6th occurred, and I needed to fight, so I started helping the Democratic orgs in Kansas, and then I moved out here and started seeing what was going on in a safe district and not using it to fight. So I began looking into running for this position about in the fall of 25 and doing feelers out for that. But my my background is one of service. I grew up with that in mind. It has always been one of service and sacrifice. I'm Roman Catholic by trade. My mother's Ecuadorian, so the Roman Catholic runs hard on there. But I've always believed that you serve to give, you don't serve for self enrichment. And that's what I want to bring. I want to bring a representative who is available to the people, who helps grow the orgs underneath. My intention is to be as available as possible to the Democratic orgs, especially the LDs and the county orgs. My I'm going to make a good faith effort to be at your general meetings in person, a good faith effort if I can't do that, at least in virtual. And if failing that, I would have a representative of my team on the meeting for those general meetings, because I do believe that being able to listen to you and get your feedback is especially important in a timely manner. On top of that, I am also committing to giving every LD and county one town hall per year, at least with me, that you guys can schedule and I will be there. One volunteer event and one fundraising event for you as well. I really genuinely want to help build the lower groups and get more democratic involvement so that we can help take back some of the other Republican areas in Washington's second district. And once we've taken this whole place, maybe we can go next door. That's my hope and goal. I know that the actual legislative agenda in DC is going to be difficult and long, but in that front, I do want universal health care. I do want clean energy investment. I do want housing investment, especially community land trusts. I've fallen in love with them. They're fantastic. If you don't know of one, find one in your area and donate. They are great. The other one that's really close to my heart is an economy for us, we're not the super rich. I really would like to focus on labor unions and consumer protection, AI protection, surveillance protection. I'm not a huge fan of the Patriot Act.
Thank you. We do give our candidates 3 minutes, and then but plus some time for questions. And so, Elizabeth, you have a question for you're running for Congressional District 2.
It's more of a plug of veteran to veteran. Thank you for your service. And I put my email below. I heard a knockout to Florida. I got some veteran Democrat colleagues in there too. So I hope you do reach out to me because welcome to Washington. We got a fun group of veterans out here that I would love to connect.
Oh, I'd love to. Yeah, no, absolutely. Like I
Right.
said, we've been here for 3 years, but
Yep.
this is home now. You're stuck with me.
I love it. All right. Have a great one. Thank you.
Is there any other questions for Tomas? I know I believe you're going to you're trying to schedule a time with our endorsement committee, so looking forward to hearing that. Okay, thank you. Oh, Hamad.
Yeah, I was just curious as to why you decided to run so late in the, this is probably the second time I'm hearing your name. So I was just curious as to why you decided to run and why you decided to run so late.
I don't think it was that late. I started doing the campaign stuff in the fall of 2025 and actually did the formal paperwork in December, I believe. But the decision was mostly economic. So I'm a small business owner, and the last 2 years have been especially difficult. We started looking and things were looking up until Trump got elected, and a lot of the subcontracting opportunities that I had just went away. I got down to one client in the fall, and to be honest, that client's probably going to go under this year. So it was one of those, am I going to start looking for more work, or am I going to try to fix this and use this seat to actually push for a progressive agenda and be an ethical representative in Congress for us? I had the opportunity, so I took it. I'm a sort of leap without looking kind of guy. You know, my wife and I, our first date was literally bungee jumping, to give you an idea.
Thanks.
And Maryland, one quick question.
You said you're a Roman Catholic. How are you on women's right to choose?
Yeah, I'm no longer practicing, but I'm a very much pro-choice. I grew up that. That was 18, and I kind of had a falling out when the teachings that I was taught, they were not espousing.
Okay.
And it made me quite upset. And I could not sit in there and listen to them, teach love and acceptance and embrace your neighbor, and then go out and do the exact opposite. And so it really caused a disconnect for me. That being said, maybe if they come around to actually doing as they teach, I might start going back to church. But until then, no. They need to do what they actually say. They need to protect people, to include women's rights.
Well, thank you very much. Representative for you, would you like to say a few words?
Absolutely. Thank you so very much, everyone, for your early endorsement. Obviously, the voter pamphlet statements are all submitted. Really appreciate your early endorsement. Things are otherwise also going quite well. COPE convention, I was sole endorsed by the Washington State Labor Council, as well as many other organizations, including WEA and others. So really appreciate your early support. And we are knocking on doors. And of course, I think I'm nearly caught up on the fundraising, even though one of my opponents had a 3-year advanced time to raise the money, and I've had essentially this is my 12th month, and so we're working super hard. And so if you want to volunteer, please let me know. And Jack Hurley, he's my campaign manager. He's also working very hard. Let's see. We do have a chat with Cindy. It's not a fundraiser. It's more to talk about affordable housing, because affordability, especially on the home rental and ownership side, is still a huge challenge in the 32nd Legislative District. So that's on Monday at 5:30. So chat with Cindy and Kyoko is how we're billing it. So please come and join us. And I think it's at Hemlock Brewing. It should be on my Facebook post, but if you need more details, you know how to get in touch with me. So anything else, obviously, other than affordability, is of course a lot of problems on Aurora Avenue, which we share with the 46th and the 36th LD. Katie Wilson obviously is trying to help them out with the public safety side of things, and then a whole bunch of other issues, including small business. And for Tomas, thank you for your service as the Technology, Economic Development, and Veterans Committee Chair. Really appreciate your service. Thank you all, and I'm open for any questions you might have.
Thank you, Cindy. Does anyone have any questions? Okay. Oh, Pat.
Hi, Representative Ryu. It's lately come to my attention that you are supporting one or two bills on nuclear energy in Washington, and I was very distressed to hear that, especially considering our past experience with nuclear energy here and the fact that it's totally related to what Amazon wants. So maybe you could give a brief defense of that, but I'm pretty skeptical.
So yeah, so as you all know, we are coming to peak energy or peak power at this time, especially as we are transitioning to electrifying not just our vehicles or homes, but just as the need for power is increasing, especially with data centers, which I know is a huge issue, unless they're willing to build their own distributed power system of some sort. And so specifically about nuclear, I think it's more for the, let's see, the fission is the problem. The fusion is what we're, anyway, one of them absolutely, but it's still not quite deployed yet. That's happening in the Everett area. And so at this point, I think we are going for all of the above. And as to specifically how that nuclear energy, whether it's it's the old technology versus the new word technology, which I'm not sure if it's proven in United States or not, but from what I understand is happening in other countries. So we will see how that goes along. But I don't really understand the exact technology of it. Representative Clyde Shavers and Stephanie Barnard from the 8th Legislative District, they are convening these teach in, I guess, sessions. So I do attend those because I think we have to come up with other than other than coal, which obviously we're moving away from, and even gas, right? And so we must have some sort of I think until we can get geothermal harnessed as well, of course, and we've been talking about it for more than 20 years. So whether it's the small nuclear SNRs, I believe is what they are called. Of course, we should at least look at it, but we will see if they end up with the similar waste pellets, I guess, problem as we have from the old technology. So I am keeping myself open as to actually whether we adopt them or not. Absolutely, they need to prove that they will not be saddling us with the decades-long, if not generations-long waste problem that we have had from Hanford.
Thank you very much. We're about out of time here, so I know that you just said that you have a coffee with Cindy or a chat with Cindy coming up, so we'll have more time for people to ask questions there. So thank you for
And
joining
if you
us.
want to do an energy session, let me know. Let me study it a little more, and then we can have a nice chat with Cindy as well. And please propose I guess, an expert that we can have a really deep discussion about.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, no, there's a lot of discussion, and we saw that in the forum for your seat. A lot of questions about AI, how the data centers, how they work. I know that there's just a lot of questions and unknowns about how some of these data centers work and sort of all the impacts of them on our environment, our power grid. So I think having a forum and having a discussion probably after the primary makes a lot of sense. So, okay, thank you. Drew, do you have an update from Representative Larson?
Hello. Yes, more than happy to provide a quick update. And thank you, everyone. Good to see everyone. First of all, thank you, of course, for your early endorsement here a couple weeks ago. It's obviously not been that long, but really appreciate it. And the congressman sends his regards. I have a couple big policy items just to note off for you all since that has happened, as well as a number of campaign updates. On the policy front, we've had a number of significant pieces of movement. One relevant one here a couple weeks ago is that Congressman Larson introduced a bill to expand rural healthcare and access for tribes and military families. The Ensuring Rural Healthcare Access for Military and Tribal Families Act, a little bit of a mouthful, but the primary outcome a little bit north of y'all is to designate Island Health, a rural hospital in Anacortes, as a critical access hospital, which it's currently not, to provide critical sort of funding streams and access items there. So really excited about the work going on there. In addition to that, Congressman Larson just got out of the Infrastructure Committee a bipartisan bill to invest $580 billion in infrastructure nationwide, including significant investment here in Washington State. Of course, as soon as I start talking, the beagle comes to commit crime. So I'll pause if he starts barking. But that funding includes over almost $2 billion for ferries, over almost $90 billion for transit, et cetera, right? A huge investment project. This is one of the largest bipartisan infrastructure bills since the bipartisan infrastructure bill. So we're really excited that that is moving along through the Infrastructure Committee. And then in addition to that, right here at home, Congressman Larson penned a letter here last week calling on Sound Transit to complete the work on the spine for the light rail spine up through Everett. That's been an ongoing conversation piece, but called on them specifically to finish that work coming up into the north. I know we have quite a few Link light rail riders, and we were thrilled with the investment for the Linwood extension that we were able to bring $1.3 billion in federal funding back towards that, and looking forward to finishing that work for the Everett component. And Rep. Larson is moving forward on getting those pieces done. So really excited about all those components. On the campaign side, things have also been really, really exciting. Our office is now open. If you'd like to come get coffee with us at the office, please send me a note. Happy to set it up a time to connect with folks. In addition to that, we've brought in a number of really critical endorsements since we last talked. The 21st, the 10th, and the Washington State Labor Council have all come in on board with the campaign, which we're really excited about across the board. So we were there at COPE with Representative Ryu. Really excited to get those endorsements in. We're, of course, chugging away on the doors. We're closing in now on 3,000 doors knocked. And a lot of this is in sort of less touched areas, right? We're going to be in Concrete here in a couple of weeks. We were in Cedar Woolley last weekend. So we're really trying to get into the district, the parts of the district that have not gotten a lot of Democratic attention the last couple cycles, make sure that there is sort of a building tide as we go forward there. We are also thrilled that we're now over 80 current and former elected officials. And that's my time. And the Beagle's coming to Air. Thanks all.
As I said in the chat, we need more cats and dogs in our meetings. So I'm always happy to see our furry friends join us. Does anyone have any questions for Drew? I see none, but we do hope that Representative Larson can join us at our picnic in July, on July 11th. So if you're able to join us, if he's able to join us, that would be wonderful.
Absolutely. I'll get back to you as soon as I can on that one. And I just dropped my email in the chat. If anyone has any additional questions or anything you'd like to talk about, feel free to reach out. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I think next on our agenda is Karen, do you have an update about what's happening with the Snohomish County Charter Review Commission?
Excuse me, I have a brief update. And what we have, the Charter Review Commission hosted its last meeting in Montlake Terrace. I think it was about a week and a half ago. And I put a link to the Snohomish County Charter Review in the chat. They're bringing forward 5 proposals. I'm not sure where they are in the process right now because they need to be submitted to the county council for approval to be on the November ballot. There are 5 initiatives. 2 of them are what were proposed by our county treasurer, and they're all right, but the other 3, I think that we should be definitely taking an opposition to say no to these charter review amendments. One is to make the county positions nonpartisan, which serves to just hide information from voters. And let me just pull up the others real quick. I can show you real quick. And so I think that there's going to be a lot of, there we go. And so we're looking at 3, 4, and 5, increasing access to county financial transparency. That doesn't really do what the title implies, and require a supermajority council vote to increase taxes. All of these are extremely problematic, 3, 4, and 5, and we'll get some more information out to folks and invite one of the charter review commissioners to come give us added detail on this process. The thing about this process was it was not very transparent. There's very difficult for public to have any input on this. There's the League of Women Voters just recently did an op-ed on this that I'll share also in the chat. So look, this will be on our November ballot. And so I look forward to having more information on this so we can be really clear on why we need to be opposing these charter amendments. And that's it for right now.
Does anyone have any questions for Karen? Seeing none. Okay, thank you. Next on our agenda is consideration of positions on a few different initiatives. We have 2 library levies, one in the city of Seattle and one in Snohomish County. And then there's also 2 initiatives that we know are going to be on the ballot. I will describe them as we just say we do not want hate in Washington State. And so I think the recommendation would be a no position on those 2 initiatives. So we do have someone who's going to come who asked to speak about the library levies, and if they could raise their hand so we can find you.
Hi,
There
I'm
we go.
Jonica. I am the campaign manager for both. I'm speaking for the Snow Isle one, but I believe we have a different speaker, Nicole, that should be here today to speak on the Seattle one. If she's not here, I could speak on behalf of both, but wanted to give her the opportunity if she wanted to speak for Seattle.
Why don't you just go ahead?
Okay. So hi everyone. My name is Jonica Kwan. As I just mentioned, I'm the campaign manager for Yes Seattle Libraries and Yes for Libraries. I'll start with Yes Seattle Libraries. So this will appear on the August 4th primary ballot as Proposition 1. And it is crucial that we pass this levy as it accounts for a third of the Seattle Public Library Foundation's funding for the next 7 years. And it funds crucial programming spanning from early learning to technology assistance, support for students, and also popular programs such as Peak Picks. This levy meets the growing need and demand coming from our libraries to meet the rising cost due to inflation and also digital materials such as ebooks, which actually cost more than physical books. So it's crucial that we vote yes on this levy on the August ballot. And switching over to the Snow Isle one,
Well, let's
this one,
stop for a second and we'll ask if there's any questions on the Seattle levy. Sally.
Yes, is there a raise of taxes on that levy?
yes, it'll raise taxes by $9. It'll be an increase of $9 for the median homeowner in Seattle. But it'll still represent only about 7% of all the property taxes that Seattle residents pay.
Any further questions? Seeing none, I will have a pause. If anyone's able to help Maria out, she posted a note in the chat. If anyone can sort of private or message her, that would be helpful. And now let's talk about Snow Isle levies.
Okay, yeah. So Snow Isle levy will also appear as Proposition 1 on the August 4th primary ballot. This one actually accounts for 91% of the Snow Isle Library's operating budget, so is crucial that we pass this because the Snow Isle Public Library system is very dependent on these voter-approved funds. This levy it's a replacement levy of the 2018 voter-approved levy, and without renewal will lead to severe cuts to programming, staffing, hours, maybe even branch cuts. It is really crucial that we pass this levy so libraries can continue serving residents of all backgrounds and all ages. Libraries are one of the only institutions that really people of every single zip code, socioeconomic status, age group use. For kids and families, they provide crucial story time and youth literacy programs. As we know, early learning is one of the smartest investments that we can be making as a society. It has the highest rates of return on investment. So it's really libraries provide this crucial service. Similarly, libraries are crucial for our economic development as they serve students, offering homework help and study spaces. And as people grow up and enter the workforce, they're also crucial for job seekers who need internet access, access to printers and other online services for job seeking. For seniors, they provide technology assistance, reduce isolation, and provide overall a source of connection. For rural communities in Snow Isle, they provide bookmobiles and other outreach programs. And for everyone, Snow Isle libraries are committed to free and equal access to information. And on behalf of both these levies, I'll just say that at a time in which our institutions of public education and knowledge are coming under increased attacks from the federal government, it's crucial that we stand behind our libraries and we continue to support them. Libraries remain one of the last institutions that actually still have a lot of trust amongst the American electorate across the board. Librarians consistently rank amongst the most trusted of all public servants. So libraries just have a really special and crucial role in our communities. So it's paramount importance that we pass both these levies and ensure that our libraries have the resources that they need to continue meeting community demands for the next several years. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions about the Snohomish County, the Snow Isle Library Levy? Sally.
I have the same question as I had before. What does it do to property tax?
In Snohomish County, it'll be an increase of $10 per month for the median homeowner, and Island County, $7 per month for the median homeowner.
Thank you.
Karen.
Hey, Jonica, it's just lovely to see you. I want to say I just got a mailer today on Snow Isle on Who Decides. It's got a great QR code, and it really lays out some of the things that these libraries do. And I really appreciate you mentioning that librarians are some of the most trusted messengers. We have librarians on our school board, and it is so true. So I am going to be supporting this. I didn't really have any questions. I just want to let you know the flyer came just in time for your talk. So yeah.
Oh, great. Thanks so much for your support.
Any other questions? Okay, well, thank you. And you are also welcome to come to our June 11th or July 11th picnic at Edmond City Park.
And thanks for the I'll note that.
Okay, we've had information about the Snow Isle and Seattle levies, library levies. Is there a motion? Would someone like to make a motion to endorse?
I would like to make a motion to support the Snow Isle Library ballot proposition.
There's a motion and a second to support the Snow Isle, to endorse the Snow Isle, yes, on the Snow Isle Library levy. Yeah, Ted, do you have any discussion?
I've been associated with the Snow Isle here in Linwood and in Mount Lake Terrace for a long time. They provide a service that is absolutely unbelievable. They deserve all the support the community can give them. And I recommend it for everyone. I'd also support the proposition for the Seattle library system.
Thank you. Is there anyone who objects to this endorsement of yes? Anyone objecting to a yes position? Seeing none, all those in favor, we'll try to do this by voice. All those in favor of endorsing a yes position, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Please signify by saying no. And that is unanimous. So yes on the Snow Isle levy is adopted. Is there another motion? Cindy?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion for the King County Library, yes, on their levy.
I think it's the Seattle Library.
Sorry, Seattle.
I'll second that.
Second.
And Representative Ryu, would you like to say a couple words?
Yep, it's just like what Ted said, we absolutely need libraries. When I was young and we could not afford to buy books, even the scholastic books that was super cheap through the school, the public library was where my three brothers and I got to go nearly every Saturday, and we'd check out a whole bunch of books. And so we saw the world through the library. In those days, it was books and the LPs, you know, the big platters, right? John Sousa, Philip Sousa was the only thing left because all the cool music was gone, but that's how we saw the world through the libraries. And so we need to continue to have that available, especially for kids of color and kids from not so fortunate families that don't have their own private libraries. And of course, digital equity and access to computers as well as Wi-Fi and opening up the world to the kiddos as well as everyone else is absolutely necessary in this day and age. So I ask you to vote for the Seattle Library.
Thank you. I'll ask this question again. Is anyone opposed to the endorsing a yes position on the Seattle Library levy? I'm seeing none, so we'll do this by voice. All those in favor of endorsing yes position on the Seattle Library levy, please signify by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed, please signify by saying no. And that motion passes unanimously. Okay. We have positions
Mr.
on
Chair,
the library.
you had one no.
I think that was a background noise
Oh, okay.
from a previous conversation. And with that, the next is it was brought to our attention, we should take positions on initiative 26001 and 26638. Is anyone from the campaigns here for that to talk about those initiatives? I don't think we do. Does anyone feel comfortable talking and have much better understanding of these initiatives and the talking points than I do? Thank you, Karen, for pulling that up.
Yes, so Chris, the Women's Caucus at the last state committee meeting had a forum on these two initiatives, and I think you can see the points that we covered at the forum. And the Women's Caucus and the Federation took a very strong no position on these. We'll put the website in the chat, but as you can say, it worsens mental health. They are doing invasive genital exams, risks to abuse kids. There's a whole laundry list of reasons that we should be opposing these.
France, your question?
Yeah, well, another comment because I keep getting muted weirdly. The Seattle National Organization for Women have strongly opposed both these initiatives. When you talk about girls in sports and gender determination, they're not just talking about a handful of sports. They're talking about every single girl that wants to do sports, even in elementary school. And not everybody has insurance, and not every insurance company pays for that examination. They're not cheap. So this is a really detrimental blow for women's equity in sports.
Any further comments, questions? These were sponsored by Brian Haywood and really repeal some of the work that the state legislature has done to protect all people.
Mr. Chair, I had my hand up. May I speak?
Yeah, Keith.
So thank you. So I'm a bi man. I'm Victory Fund endorsed, and I just wanted to comment on the LGBTQ perspective on this. The invasive genital exams make it basically impossible for anyone who is questioning their sexuality to participate in sports. No one wants to be examined by a doctor and have to prove who they are. So from the LGBTQ perspective, these are a disaster. The other measure requires notification to parents when a student comes forward and says, hey, I've got this issue going on. And if the issue going on is I might be gay, if the issue going on is I'm being bullied because I think I'm transgender, the parents find out about that. And well, as a parent, yeah, okay, but I'm an accepting parent. And the last thing we want to do is put students who are at risk of further harm that their families find out when they're reaching out for help to figure out who they are.
Yeah, Thomas, I'll give you some information. And I guess I need to put my name on this.
Sorry, can you hear me now? Sorry.
Yeah.
I've been having some success arguing this with conservatives using a particular line of reasoning. I don't like it. It feels really gross, but it has worked pretty much every time I've brought it up. I've pretty much used the financial side of it. Do you want to spend millions of dollars going around and checking people, or would you rather just not raise your taxes on that? And most of them are like, yeah, they don't want to spend money doing this. So it's, if it works to get them to leave them alone, I'd say use that tactic if you can. That was my point there.
Ted and then Jenna.
Yeah, I would move that we go on record as being supportive of the no on the two initiatives.
Second.
Second, yeah.
Chris, you're muted.
I'll give Jenna a moment to speak, and then I'll turn it back to Ted.
Thank you. I also wanted to comment on how traumatic this could be for our youth. I played tennis in high school, and we had to undergo a mandatory physical examination. And I specifically remember that our family physician clicked deferred on examining my genitalia because that was something that the form asked back then in the 90s. And I was a 13-year-old girl, and he didn't want to subject me to that. And I also just want to note, gender, first of all, there's intersex, and we have women who are phenotypically female but are intersex, and they're being told by these regulatory agencies like the Olympics that they have to lower the natural levels of testosterone that they are born with to be able to comply with the standards for women's sports. So there is no biological basis for if you're an XX or an XY, if you're male or female, and it's often used in a discriminatory way against intersex and non-binary people. And we also have female athletes who are able to perform on par with male athletes. There was a 6'1" woman who was competing in male college sports, and apparently she was huge and brutal out there. And she was a normal XX woman. There is a woman who used to be a professional soccer player who was a punter for the New York Jets. So there have been women in the NFL. And I don't think that we can be this deterministic based on somebody's genitalia about what category they fit in or what their potential athletic prowess is. So again, this is just another example for me of politicians need to keep their laws off of our bodies because for some reason with women or anybody who identifies as female, they are just obsessed with our bodies. It is disgusting, intrusive, and highly inappropriate in the 21st century. Thank you.
Thank you. Ted, I'll let you, if you'd like to speak.
I would just say that Jenna has said everything that you could say about it. How intrusive can you be into children's bodies? And I don't care whether they're male or female. This is not something that should be happening in the United States to our children. This is really crazy.
Thank you. Is there anyone who'd like to speak against taking a no position on the two initiatives? Yeah, France.
I'm not saying no. I just wanted to say, when Ted said male or female, do realize women's sports are only for the girls. The boys are not being tested. It is not a blanket test for all children. It is just for those that define themselves as female.
I understand that, but the problem is if you do it to one sex, is somebody going to come back and do it to the other sex? I don't care whether they're for, it's not a question of this is only for girls. This is an intrusion into people's lives that should never take place, especially for young girls. This is, as I say, this is crazy. This is, pardon me for saying so, this is like Hitler. Come in and I'll determine whether you can do this or not, or what you are, or what I think you are. No, 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 no. Keep your hands off our children, no matter what. Keep your hands off our children.
Well said. Okay, we're going to do this by voice. The motion is to endorse a no position on both of the statewide initiatives. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Anyone opposed? Seeing no one opposed, that motion passes. We have now taken a position no on both the statewide initiatives. If there are other statewide initiatives that come before us, we will take those up later at a different meeting. But we're crossing our fingers that things don't get qualified. I will say that Councilmember Lauren Lamarck and I have asked our city manager to place a resolution before the city council and Shoreline taking a similar position, opposing both of the initiatives. So we are all ask your elected officials to take a position. Individuals can do it on the website. There is a way for individuals to take positions. I saw Cindy Ryu's name. I saw Karen Chase's name. I saw Danica Noble's name there. So if you have not, please do so. If you have an ability as a city or a school district to take a position, or encourage your city or school district to take a position on this, this is a really important position. Taking a no position is really important for our youth, for our communities. So please encourage your elected officials to take a stand. Okay. Next on the agenda, need to go back to it, is PCO appointments. We've in the past month, we've gotten, not only did we get 101 PCOs, people who filed to be PCOs, we have a bunch of people who have submitted PCO applications for the rest of this term. And Sally, you have I think a long list of people who have filled out PCO applications in the last month.
I don't. I don't have any applications in the last month.
Okay. I'll go through. We have one for Charles Smith. And I'll be forwarding them to you.
Okay. I didn't see that. Yeah.
It's I actually don't know what precinct this is.
I believe he is on Buddy Smith. We can just ask him right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not memorize that number. But I live in I live, should I give you my address to figure it out?
It's 321210.
There we go.
So would you like to introduce yourself, and then we will formally vote?
Hi, my name is Buddy Smith. I have been living in Shoreline since 2007, living in this house specifically since 2016. I am a lifelong Democrat. My mom was very inspiring in that way. She was a Democratic committee member in Pennsylvania, Abington, Rockridge area for 30 years or something like that. Anyway, she passed away last year, and as a way to honor her, I wanted to start doing my part, pass the torch, as it were. I've watched the last couple of meetings on YouTube, and I'm getting very interested in this topic, and I want to do whatever I can to get Democrats elected.
Does anyone have any questions for Buddy? Is there a motion?
I move
I have a question. I have a question.
Yeah. Elizabeth,
I have
sorry.
a question. Yep. Now, my question is what I'd like to ask for types of politics. What's interested in the city level, county level, federal level, school, if there's anything that is more interesting than all, or just all of it.
I'm way more interested in local than federal. I think that one single person can have more effect at a local level than at a large 300 million person level.
Thank you so much. Looking forward to you. Yeah.
France.
Well, welcome, and I'm glad to have your interest. I am curious if you've ever been political before in your life.
Not really. Aside from voting, no. Aside from voting and arguing with people, no. But I'm trying to get away from the arguing with people and get more towards the actually doing something about it.
Okay. Any other questions? Seeing none, is there a motion?
I move that we appoint Buddy Smith as the new PCO for the precinct that he
Shoreline
lives in.
1210.
Shoreline 1210.
I second.
I second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Hell yeah.
Any opposed? Okay, congratulations.
Well, thank you so much, and I apologize. I have to go in 5 minutes because I work in 5 minutes. But this has been great, and thank you so much. And please let me know. I'm sure you guys have my contact information. Anything I can do, talking to neighbors, whatever it is.
Okay, thank you. Next, again, I said we have a bunch, and we have about 5 or 6. We have next is Stuart Allen, who wants to be the PCO for Shoreline 1209. Is Stuart here? Okay.
I believe we've already approved him. I don't have the minutes in front of me, but in either the April meeting, I think he was on that list.
Okay.
I'm just wondering if you're working off of an old list.
Yeah, these were all emails I got recently, so.
Okay.
Well,
Did
it
he,
wa-
did he file during filing week?
I think he did. But it was submitted in February, so we will figure that out. Okay, next is Matthew D'Souza, who wishes to be the PCO for Shoreline 320914. And I know this is a new one. Is Matthew here? I know Matthew has been involved in Urbanist Shoreline and has been coming to Shoreline City Council meetings. Is there, he is not here, but is there a motion to approve Matthew as a PCO for 320914?
I move to appoint Mr. D'Souza.
Second.
And Keith, did you want to say anything or just go for a vote?
Yeah, he's a remarkable guy. He's also on the Shoreline Planning Commission. He was recently appointed president of the Shoreline Chamber of Commerce. He's a former legislative aide to Maria Cantwell and has had some really remarkable life experiences. And I think he's going to be a great part of our democratic fabric.
Any speech in opposition? Hamad.
I was looking at the list of people who have filed, and there is some other person called Doris McConnell who was filed for the precinct. I assume that's going to be for starting next year, but
Yeah, these applications are just for the remainder of this year. All those in favor of appointing Matthew, please signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, please signify by saying no. And congratulations, Matthew. Next is Kevin Atkinson. Kevin is also a Shoreline resident. He wants to be the PCO for Shoreline 0510. I know Kevin. Kevin is he's a good guy. He's a solid Democrat. His wife is a member of the Parks Board, or his partner is a member of the Parks Board in Shoreline. I do not think he's here today.
I have it as a vacant precinct, so he could be appointed.
Yeah. All those in favor, any further discussion? Is there a motion to approve Kevin?
I move we approve Kevin.
Second.
Sally, would you like to say you?
Sounds great. It's a vacant precinct. Go Kevin.
Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, please signify by saying no. That motion passes unanimously. Okay, I'm got confused a little bit earlier. There was a Matthew Souza that we just appointed that Keith talked about. And I was talking in my discussion, I was talking about Matthew DeAngelis, who wishes to be a PCO. And he is in 0346. Is there? I don't think he's here either. Sorry, we're a little bit confused here. I thought Sally was getting these emails as well. Otherwise, we'd have a nice little chart and everything would be run very functionally. But again, Matthew, I know Matthew. Matthew is a strong Democrat. He's the one who's been involved in the urbanist, shoreline urbanist. So, Sally.
I move we appoint him.
Is there a second?
0346.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor of appointing Matthew, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed, please signify by saying no. We have approved Matthew. Okay, now we have a application from Danica Noble, who recently is running for state representative.
I move to approve
is
Danica Noble.
In Seattle 2216. There is a motion.
I'll second that for Keith.
Yes, I move. I second that. Third that.
Keith, what do you like to say? Anything?
No, I mean, Danica's, I mean, yes, sorry, I said no, but then I started talking. We have an embarrassment of riches here in the 32nd. Danica was not able to be involved in the Democratic Party before now because she was a federal employee. I'm delighted to welcome her. I'm sorry I'm running against her, and I'm sure she's going to be a great force, whether she's elected or not.
Thank you. This will mean that Sally is no longer. Sally's going to have to find a new precinct to be an acting PCO for.
I was acting precinct. I'm fine finding another precinct. Go, Danica.
Okay. And yes, I mean, Nick, you were correct. I mean, we do want our applicants to come to our meetings. I don't think that we made specific outreach to them to join us this evening.
She was here not 2 seconds ago. I'm not seeing her face, but she really was here. I checked a couple minutes ago.
Yeah,
so
I did
sure
get a note that she was here too.
Yeah.
All those in favor of appointing Danica as a PCO, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying no.
Thanks, everyone. I'm sorry I couldn't speak in that. I couldn't make it work, but appreciate it. And thanks, Keith.
Thank you, Danica. Did we just do this one? Well, we have a lot. We just did that one. And I think we have one more. If I can. No, we have two more. We have a name that I am going to butcher. It is Huli Saha. She wants to be a PC. This individual would like to be a precinct committee officer for Shoreline 320754. Is this person here tonight?
Yes, Chris. This
Yes.
is Julie. It's just like Julie with an SH, Julie
Okay.
Saha.
Sorry,
No.
I apologize.
No, it's okay. The reason why I want to be more involved in the Democratic Party is now having like young children in the public school system, I really feel like education is being kind of dismantled at the federal level, and I feel like there's ways to get more involved in the state and local level to make sure that we protect public education. Also with the ICE activity, I'm really, really, really concerned that we need to do more on the local and state level. And also, I just would like to see more people. I think we need a broader coalition. I think we need more moms. We need more people of color. And we need, and I'm very invested in the shoreline community. I've gone to city council meetings. I'm actually canvassing for Danica Noble right now as well.
Okay. Any questions?
This precinct is Robin Fleming's old precinct, and she has stepped down, so it's vacant.
Okay. Is there a motion?
I move I move that how do you pronounce your name again?
Shuli, just like Julie with an SH.
Julie, got it.
I'll be probably the only Shuli you've ever met because I've not met another person with my name.
I move that Shuli be appointed.
I second that.
All those in favor of appointing Shuli to her precinct, please signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying no. Okay. Congratulations. And congratulations to all the new PCOs. This is exciting. Okay. Next on the agenda is Sally, do you want to talk about our July 11th picnic and some of the get out the vote activities?
Sure.
Sorry, William.
Go ahead.
Yeah, if I may, just for a second, stay on the PCOs. Probably about, I don't know, 50 plus. I sent out an email to about 50 plus of the candidates with the intent of them having the opportunity to just say hi. And the reason being is because from me talking to, just the average resident, people who don't attend these meetings, A, they don't know what a PCO is. B, they don't know who the PCOs are. And C, they don't even know where they are on the ballot. And I want to make sure that everyone here understands that, and it's important for every candidate, especially those who are running unopposed, who are probably on the back of the ballot of whoever ballots that you get, that these people actually get a vote other than just their own. Because to be honest, I don't even remember seeing a PCO on a ballot in the short period of time that I've been here in Washington. So, it's really important, I think, that that we all talk about, and these people get the name recognition that they need, so we can make sure that our neighbors know what a PCO is, what they do, who's on the ballot, and that they actually vote for them, because they're in the back somewhere, on the ballot. And I think that because they're in the back after all the other things that people are going to be voting for, whether it's for the judicial positions, the Senate positions, the congressional positions, etc., by the time they get to the PCOs, who they won't know who any of them are because they don't get any information on the pamphlet for them, then they might not even vote for them. So let's make sure that somehow or another we make sure that we know who those people are, so that we can in our own precincts tell who these folks are, so we can get them, make sure they get elected.
Thank you, William. And we're going to give all our PCOs a chance to introduce themselves in a moment, but we do have a resolution that we want to get to first. And then Elizabeth Lunsford wants to talk about the state convention and some of the work that's happening there. So, but first to Sally.
Thank you, Chris. As Chris said in the newsletter, the PCOs will be receiving their walking lists around the 8th, 9th, and 10th of July. And then on July 11th, we have our annual picnic, our summer picnic potluck at Edmonds City Park. And it's going to be the same as last year, but we have extended hours. So we're going to start at 11 and finish at 5 p.m. And so we'll have much more time to talk and eat the wonderful food, the delicious food that everyone brings, and strategize, PCO strategy. Edmonds City Park is a little bit tricky with parking, so you have to kind of look around on the outskirts to find a good parking place. It has a great water spray park for kids. That's the big draw. So hopefully everybody can, we can meet there, and our endorsed candidates come to the picnic. Many endorsed candidates come to the picnic. And so it's a great time to hang out with them and talk. And so then as you go door to door, you can talk about having met the candidate and then what the candidate's platform is. So this is a good time to have that exchange. Then the following Wednesday, July 15th, ballots are mailed out and they're received by Friday the 17th. And so in covering your precinct as a PCO, every PCO has their unique plan. We have the choices are to mail the endorsement card, to phone your the people in your precinct, the voters in your precinct, to drop the endorsement card at the door, or to knock on the door and have a conversation with voters. The card is it's like a postcard, the endorsement card, so it's very light to carry, and those will be available at the picnic, so people can pick them up at the picnic. And if they can't make it to the picnic, they can pick them up at the Chase residence in Edmonds. And they have they're on the cards, and campaign literature are on tables outside the garage. And so it's kind of a 24/7 pickup possibility there. You can go anytime, day or night, and pick up your cards. Also, let us know if you need to mail, and the 32nd provides stamps, and we provide mailing labels for you. Let's see, anything else? And so the best time to canvass is that first weekend. 10% of people do vote that weekend. And so if you can, if that works with your schedule, that you can get out the 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th are probably the most important days to be canvassing. Are there any questions?
I just wanted to make a comment, Sally. Thank you so much for mentioning the issue of parking availability in downtown Edmonds. Please let our mayor and the conservative leadership on our council know that you don't support adding paid parking meters to the downtown Edmonds area, because you don't want to create a zone where only affluent people are allowed to visit and utilize our taxpayer-funded resources. Thank you.
Thanks, Jenna.
Elizabeth.
Yeah, I wanted to first say to Shuli, I believe, I'm starting to get to ask my question about for the PCOs, but I'm hoping it was for school board. I think your Shoreline school district, but I'm in Edmond, so hopefully we can collaborate on the two. And then the PCOs, it started off with Linwood PCOs meeting and gathering and a couple local businesses up here that has turned into the Social Democrat Committee, or I don't know what comes first, but we're going to be having the Social Democrat meeting in Edmonds to be determined at which place on the fourth Friday. And when I am in the works of making a social gathering for the delegates who can't attend the in-person Washington State Democratic Convention in Spokane. There's some difficulty with that with some of the people that I've been working with outside of the 32nd state and different LDs who want to make it in person. Especially a lot of our time has been going to address what's happening in Spokane with the judge. Is this okay time, Chris, to talk about this?
Yeah, let's stick with PCOs and
okay.
the picnic.
But yeah, if you can just mention that. So I don't know if the social for the delegates is going to happen, but but the next fourth Friday, hopefully PCOs and members can meet up. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Janice.
Yeah, thank you. I was appointed as a PCO a few months ago, so I just wanted to check, and maybe this isn't the right time to ask Sally, but a little bit more detail. Is there going to be any other information or training for PCOs? Because this is my first time doing this. I noticed on the guidance document on the website, it talks about some databases that you log into to keep track of information, vote builder, minivan, or a couple things like that. Is that something that the 32nd precincts are using that you'll be telling us what how to
Yes, we
do?
are going to do a training, and we
Okay.
just need to find a date.
Okay, good.
We will actually, if someone wants to look at the one of the libraries, and we can see if we can find a time to get one of the rooms at one of the libraries in the district to do a training for PCOs.
So that would be probably like in the June timeframe then, Chris? Before the middle of July?
Before the middle of July, yes.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks for clarifying that.
We have a bunch of us who are a little bit busy right now, so
I'm
we
sure.
will find some time.
Thank you.
But do come to, I mean, we do want, we will have some training and sort of help people out at the picnic itself. And
Sure.
so
Sounds good. Thank you.
we will do all that. Let's see. Okay, that's and no questions there. So we will go on. We have one resolution that was properly sent to us. Sally, can you pull, or Karen, can you pull that up? I don't know if the makers of the motion are here. No, Pat, you submitted this, right?
Yes. Pat Weber
I
and Janet
did
Weber.
not. I submitted it, but did not make it. Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna pull it up. So Sally, if you'd like to talk about it as it's being pulled up.
I'm not sure who wrote this. Pat, I thought you and Janet Way submitted it. That's whose name I put down on it.
Yeah, we did submit it. It was, hold on just a sec. Now I'm gonna get my other screen up here. It was written by another precinct. So it was written by Roxanne Thayer. And I think she's in the 34th district.
Yeah, I know her. I work with her on a number of things. She's very dedicated and passionate about health issues, especially.
I think if you go to the therefore, that was the part that explained it in just a couple of sentences, the two therefores. Yeah.
Yes. Do you want to read it, Sally, or do you want me to?
Sure. Therefore, we call on Governor Ferguson and Energy Northwest to immediately stop any movement forward on nuclear at Hanford and any further public financing or gifts of land to Amazon. And Washington state representatives of the people acting on behalf of their constituents, not corporations, must invest public and private dollars on affordable renewables and storage, wind and solar, which are faster, cheaper, and more efficient. I think that's kind of the crux of it.
Right. And the reason for doing this relates to the question I put to Representative Ryu, is that there's a proposition that Washington develop nuclear energy with a majority of taxpayer input, but Amazon is going to control it. They will contribute some, but the majority is going to be taxpayer funded, and yet the benefits will go to Amazon.
But that's really not spelled out here. I mean,
I think it says it in the first, hold on.
Okay.
France, do you have a question? Well, we find this.
I was going to add to the fact that Amazon and some other corporations are buying land and then making it like a fait accompli that therefore the legislature should follow through on allowing it to be used for these projects because they've already bought the land.
Right, right. And the title of this is Stop Energy Northwest and Amazon from Taking Public Funds and Land.
And there are instances where they have outbid the actual municipal electric power company. So when a power company could be using resources to get more electricity, they get outbid by these corporations that have a lot more money.
Right. Right. And this is, and so there's a little, I don't know, I find it a little disingenuous because one of the organizations is called Energy Northwest. Well, Energy Northwest is actually formerly Washington Public Power Supply System, i.e. whoops. And if we remember that fiasco, like 30 years ago, where the state lost tons of money in this failed venture. So that's another reason for this resolution.
Is there are there further questions about the resolution? And I'll recognize that we will, as we adopt it, we will change WSDCC to 32nd District Democrats.
Yes.
France.
And I just want to say the idea of how to successfully get rid of nuclear waste is an open question. That waste cannot last decades or hundreds of years. It can be there thousands of years. There was an exquisite documentary done in Denmark where they tried to figure out what way we would even communicate to our the people who lived 1,000 years from now who might not be reading the same kind of print that we do, or how, it was just amazing to think about the fact that no matter how deep a hole you put this waste in, that somebody could try to figure out what's in that hole or release it in a way that could harm the future of this earth. It's just inconceivable that people think that this is a valid option.
Thank you. Jenna, question?
I just wanted to comment on the production and the disposition of toxic and radioactive waste. What happens with toxic and radioactive waste is wealthy communities pay to have it shipped to poor communities. This is what we do in Washington State. Our incinerators, which are not functioning in some of our wastewater treatment plants and not EPA compliant, are producing biosolids that we are shipping to Arlington, Oregon, because it's not legal to dump waste that toxic in Washington State. This is what we have done with nuclear waste, and it is entirely a matter of the haves inflicting cancer on the children of the have-nots. I personally do not trust billionaires with nuclear reactors, especially not ones as misanthropic as Mr. Bezos or Mr. Musk. And I do not think that our land should be made so toxic, or our neighbors to the south in Oregon should have their land be made so toxic and their aquifers contaminated so that their great-grandchildren cannot eat the food that's grown in their own soil. So I am strongly opposed to this.
Thank you, Jenna.
Is there any further questions? Is there a motion?
I move we adopt this resolution.
I second.
Sally, to your motion.
I'll let Pat speak to it.
I don't think I can say anything more. I thought what Jenna said was eloquent, and also what the information that France gave to us, that despite the claims for safety and new and improved nuclear energy, we have other availabilities. We have wind power, water power. Certain countries in Europe are looking at the renewable resources and are developing it far ahead than we are. And there's no reason for us to just stay in this rut of damaging energy sources.
Thank you. Is there a speech in opposition? Is there a speech in opposition? All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, please signify by saying no.
No.
Okay, the motion passes. Thank you. Okay, that's all that we had on resolutions. Elizabeth Lunsford would like to have a couple minutes before we move forward to talk about some of the events that are happening in Spokane with the convention and some of the issues that some of the individuals in Spokane are facing right now. Elizabeth.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. I'm not so much familiar with the actual actions happening at the convention center, but what I would like to see is an acknowledgement of the injustice and attack of our democracy that's happening in Spokane. A few months ago, there were some protesters, peaceful protests protesting against ICE, and they got arrested and charged conspiracy to interfere with federal conspiracy and whatnot, when it was just a peaceful protest. There, I think, were 9 of them, and 6 of them took plea deals just to finish it. Well, the 3 were like, we did nothing wrong. We just protest. We're going to keep to it. One of them that it resonates with me is a combat veteran who served, I'm sorry, it's emotional, who served for this right, and he kept to it, and the verdict came back that he was guilty. It is such an attack of every patriotic citizen on that call. And I absolutely was relieved to see the mayor of Spokane speak quickly about it. I am known as a protester here in Linwood. I'm a veteran, and I do that, a lot of it, because of so many friends that I served with are no longer here today. It's emotional, and I would really hope that anyone who is going there demands the Democratic Party to grow a spine and help the Spokane 3. So that's what it is, and hopefully we can talk more about and bring guest speakers because it is very critical. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Elizabeth. I realized I was on mute. So, does anyone have any questions for Elizabeth? Karen and I both posted some articles in the chat. If you can, we also are able to show the article if you'd like. Marguerite.
Yeah, I would just like more information. I'm not at all in favor of their conviction, but the paper, the Times seemed to indicate that they were impeding the process of a bus that was going to transfer detainees. Is there no truth to that? Or, how does that fit into the fact that they were convicted?
For me to answer it, I can't even answer that appropriately because if it was me, I would be a person standing in front of buses that are being transporting innocent kids and innocent families. So I'm not one to speak of that. Also, there's a lot of misinformation of what's going on with that, especially here in Linwood. We know how the news can be bought and put out misinformation. Same thing with going to Spokane. It speaks volume of the lack of actual media presence of what's happening in Spokane. And so, again, I thank you all for your time so we can bring just some time and awareness to the situation, even if I can't speak, and nor do I have the authority to speak on the details of what happened. Thank you.
I think looking to help answer that question, I think one of the challenges with what's happening is not so much the protest, it's the fact that the charges were conspiracy, not just sort of blocking a bus or blocking ice activity, but also it was the idea of sort of conspiracy, which it has a whole bunch of other First Amendment problems um, beyond sort of the right to assemble. Yeah, Hamad and then France.
Again, I'm not intimately familiar with that particular incident itself, but as another protester, I like to point out that whoever the protest is against, in this case it's ICE, they usually lie a lot just so that they can arrest some people. And then it's your word versus their word. There is usually video out there, but you can always interpret it depending on where your own individual point of view is. But I would not take the word of, like, I would never believe the word of law enforcement, specifically ICE in this case. They are doing something terribly illegal, which is, I don't believe what they're doing, what the arrests that they're making are legal. So if I'm protesting illegal activity, if I'm blocking illegal activity, I should not be punished for that personally.
Thank you. France.
So the charges that were supposed to be put forth were misdemeanor charges. And one of the prosecutors actually stepped down from the case because they wanted to charge these guys with felonies. And that's a whole different ballgame. I think that's one of the really scary parts about doing any kind of protest in the future, is to think that you might be charged with a felony for doing something that is clearly a misdemeanor.
Thank you. And thank you, Karen, for posting the statement from our good mayor of Spokane, Lisa Brown. So I think Elizabeth's thing was, if you are going to in person to Spokane, we'll talk to your fellow delegates and encourage them to support the Spokane 3. Okay, we did say we'd give some time for our PCOs, especially those PCOs in competitive races, a chance to introduce themselves. So if you filed to be a PCO and would like to introduce yourself to the group, please raise your hand and we will go through and recognize all of you, because I think that you're all wonderful and you're doing all the good work and are serving on the front lines of our party and saving our democracy. So thank you. So if you'd like to raise your hand and introduce yourself, I'll let you, we'll see that. Shelby, no, Andrew, I saw your hand up first. So, yeah, sorry, Andrew, we can't hear you.
Let's go with one of these instead.
That works.
Yeah, there we go. Sorry about that. I'm Andrew Holt, lifelong Democrat, raised by very liberal, Star Trek sort of parents, to believe in all that kind of that sort of attitude. That's the world that I want to see, not Mad Max or something. It's something that I have strongly believed in for a long time, even though they have forgotten about it and gone over to MAGA land. We don't really hang out anymore, but I've had a long time of having frustration and about all this going on, but not a whole lot of information on what to do about it. There is an acquaintance, Oliver Moffett, who does some reporting around here, who suggested that people run for PCO, that it's not an office I'd ever even heard of. But it's just basically a small, very small stepping stone into government kind of stuff. Just saying there's a lot of political power just sitting out there that is waiting for people to pick it up. And I thought, well, sure. So I'm running for a tiny office in a 5 by 10 block area. I'm opposed by one person who I feel that I agree with politically, but who I feel might be, I don't know, maybe has a different attitude towards bringing things, different reasons, I guess I should say. I don't want to get too much into that at the moment, but if nothing else, it'll be cool to see my name on a ballot. I never had that. Let's see what else. I've been a Shoreline resident since 2007. I've raised two kids here to be so far pretty good teenagers. And yeah, I really love it. I'm hoping to be able to do something helpful. If only to, just get people aware, get people in the tiny little community that I'm in aware of, like, hey, here's how to vote. Here's what it means. Here's why it's important. Here's what I can do to make sure that you can do it safely if you're concerned about that. Because I know that that's something that has been an issue. Apparently, ICE picked up somebody just a few blocks away from here a couple weeks ago. Anyway, sorry, frustrating as hell. But yeah, look forward to giving this a shot and learning more about it. I have no idea what the hell I'm doing, to be honest, but I am happy to learn.
We're a friendly group.
Appreciate it.
George.
Chris, excuse me, can I just interject here that with these PCO?
Sally, you muted yourself.
I'm sorry. If you lose your race, you can still be a PCO in a neighboring precinct. So it's called an acting PCO versus an elected PCO. So I want to let all the PCOs know, if you don't get elected, that doesn't stop you from being a PCO.
Okay, George.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, I'll be brief because I know I got a little excited earlier and introduced myself. But yeah, my name's George Stanton. I'm running to be a PCO here in Mount Lake Terrace, Precinct 9. As I had mentioned, worked on a city council race last year and did most of the vote builder effort for that and helped cut the turf for us to knock on over 2,000 doors. Got really familiar with the city, and I'm really excited to be kind of a resource for people who want to go knock on doors in the city. I think that, with all of the various media that we have these days, all the mailers, a lot of that ends up in the trash, and the way that we're going to connect and build community is by seeing each other face to face, and we need to really push on that avenue. I'm a huge believer in local politics and local community, and I think that's something that I want to continue to help build here in the city. So yeah, happy to answer any questions, but that's me.
Shelby.
Hello, my name is Shelby Green. I'm running for PCO in Mount Lake Terrace. It's going to be hard to follow that. Recent move to Mount Lake Terrace. I was previously a delegate with the 37th whenever I lived in Seattle. I've worked as a nurse for 10 years. I'm currently a student with the Evans School at UW, excuse me, for public policy. And just wanted to try to affect as much kind of change as possible within the Democratic Party. And I agree with what George said of like getting people connected, and especially in the kind of age we live in where the technology and just this kind of individual mindset has pulled people apart. I do not think the cure is not meeting with each other in person and being together.
Rod.
Hi. My name is Ahmad. I'm running for Shoreline, I think 1210. I think most of you know me, so I'm not going to try and describe who I am anymore. I'm just going to talk a little bit about why I am running. So this past weekend, I saw a video which was, again, it was a horrific video. I want to describe it to you guys. Maybe a lot of you may not have seen that. So there was this motorcycle which had like a father and a mother and a child, and it was bombed. And I see the child bleeding, looking at the their
Sorry.
mother and father.
No, that was not for you. We just
Okay.
forgot to stop it.
So so that bomb came from my tax money. So I'm complicit. And I really want that dollar, my dollar, not to go towards bombs. I want that dollar to go towards my kids. My kids are in public school. I want that dollar to be spent on my kids. I want that dollar to go on fixing the roads that we have. I want that dollar to go in terms of providing mental health services for the US Marine veteran that I met this past weekend who was basically panhandling for money, right? And the only way I can affect that change, what is in my hand, is that I can start small. So I guess this is me starting small. I feel like we have not that great leadership. So the other video that I wanted to talk about was the Israel Day parade that happened, and which had war criminals. And then we had our Democratic Senate leader, Chuck Schumer, represent us. I do not want that kind of leadership. I don't think he represents us. I think we deserve better leadership. I think we need to hold our leadership accountable. And I guess this is me trying to do my part. Thanks.
Thank you. Will.
Yes, hi, everybody. So nice to see all the Democrats here. I'm filing to run for Edmonds 52. Just a little bit background about myself. I'm a first generation immigrant. I came to this country when I was, sorry, somebody speaking? Okay, maybe it's just background noises. I came to this country when I was 24, and as an immigrant, the recent ICE event, I really strike me hard. I just want to tell a story. In 2021, during the pandemic, my mother-in-law, who had been living in Edmonds in this greater Seattle area and worked for the Seattle School District and retired now, is living 2 blocks away from me, was walking from her place to my place, and a mega person just told her to go back to your own country. She was originally immigrated from Taiwan, and that was a moment that I say to myself, I have to do something. I have to get the Democrats elected to office at all levels. And it was that same year I ran for Edmonds City Council and won the race. And I had been a PCO for 50 seconds before, and I was dedicated. I doorbell for all the Democratic elected officials, from Congressman Rick Lawson to our state representative. I saw Cindy Louie earlier. I doorbell for her. I want to make sure that our Democratic candidates are elected into office at all levels. That's why I want to run again and make sure that good Democrats are elected. So good to see everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Will. Robert.
Hi, I'm the actual PCO. I know you guys are voting for a new PCO, but I've been the PCO. I believe Will was the PCO before, but then for some reason he just dropped out and he didn't care anymore. I knocked on doorbells and on doors for candidates for the Democrats, and I just believe that I would do a better job than Will. And that's just where I'm at right now with it. Will was a PCO and then dropped out, and now he wants to be PCO now that he's running for the 32nd district for the Senate or the House or whatever. And I just think that, if he really wanted it, he would have stayed as a PCO and then did the next, term, and then now he'd still be the PCO. So I believe I would be a better candidate because I have knocked on doors and everything else. And actually, I even, marched in to pray for Will, but Will has shown, from his character and everything else that, he says what everybody wants to hear, and he really doesn't, put up. So that's where I'm at right now. And I'm not trying to hurt your feelings, Will, but I think you're a closet conservative.
Thank you, Robert.
We keep this civil.
Thank you. Christine.
Hi, I'm Christine Pinto, and like Andrew, you can thank Oliver for telling me about this and signing up to find out what it's all about. So I'm just interested to see how I can plug into the process and be helpful. 20 years here in Shoreline, and I love living here, and I want to see what I can do that make everybody feel like they can love living here too.
Thank you. Dan, and then Danica.
Hi folks, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah, I was a PCO for the 46th a while ago. I'm in the Ridgecrest neighborhood in Shoreline, and I did the Citywise program and looking to get back into it.
Okay, thank you. Danica.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for the opportunity to say hi here and for your grace while I shuffled between things. So great. Yeah, I'm excited to be a PCO and learn more about that as well. The increasing civic engagement really appeals to me, and something that I have done within the PTA and the social justice organizations I've worked with before. So excited to meet my neighbors and try to grow engagement for the 32nd, and really appreciate everyone that I've got to meet so far, and looking forward to meeting those of you that I haven't. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Danica, and thank you everyone who did file to be a PCO. We do want to get to know everyone better, so I do hope everyone can come to our picnic on July 11th. And if that doesn't work, we do have, as Elizabeth said earlier, we are having monthly, the fourth Friday of every month. We have our socials. We had a good turnout at Ridgecrest Public House last month, and we had a really strong turnout at Montlake Terrace in April. So it's really just good to see and be around people. We are social creatures, and we need that. So please join us, and please get ready to knock on our doors. Our endorsed candidates, and Cindy said earlier that we all need your help, and so we need to get out every vote this year. So please come out, support our candidates. If you can, donate to our candidates, but even just going door to door, sharing the word sharing our endorsement list with your neighbors and friends, those are really important to every candidate here. So please do so. And if you have any questions, please let us know, and we should find out by the end of the week or end of next week. I'll give ourselves a little bit of grace to find out when we'll do a PCO training for everyone who's new. So look forward to that, and we just need to find a good location that works for some of our schedules. Okay. Is there any further good of the order? Yeah, Ted, and then William.
Thank you. I brought up this subject a while back, but I think it's important to highlight it again tonight. The new pro-Trump ownership of CBS is firing the people who put on 60 Minutes and replacing them with people who are said to be less qualified or unqualified. Scott Pelley is the latest of an employee of CBS News for over 30 years, is now tossed out on the sidewalk. We've got two of the four major networks, CBS and Fox, are owned by pro-Trump organizations. NBC Universal found it necessary apparently to put MSNBC and CNBC into a separate corporation because of the threats that are coming from the Trump FCC. They've already threatened ABC stations with taking away their licenses. The local impact of this is something we need to be aware of. Pro-Trump station ownerships include Sinclair, which owns Channel 4 and Channel 51 and all of their subchannels. Fox, which owns Channels 13 and 22 and all of their subchannels. CBS owns Channel 11, although they do not put that programming on that station. And there's a threat that Netstar, which is the largest owner of television stations in the United States, taking over Channel 5 and 16. Sinclair owns about 37%. Their stations reach about 37% of all the people in the United States. The threat of Netstar taking over Tegna, which owns currently Channel 5 and 16, would allow them to reach over 80% of the people with television sets in the United States. And CBS, by the way, also owns half of the CW network, which now is on one of the Sinclair stations. So this idea that one company or several companies who are all in line with the president and his plans of taking over the United States is a real threat to us, not only nationally through television networks, but locally in our own market, where it looks like a majority of stations, a vast majority of the stations in the Seattle market that have any amount of viewership could be under the ownership of people who are pro-Trump. And that means retribution to everybody who disagrees with Mr. Trump. So I want everybody to be aware of this, to be able to face it when you talk to people about how the news is being filtered and being limited to what we get by these companies that own these stations. This is a real threat to democracy. Thank you.
Thank you. William.
Thank you. And again, thank you for all you PCO candidates for introducing yourself. Really appreciate that name recognition. I think will go a long way towards when you're knocking on doors or you're getting people to help knock on doors or lay on pamphlets because of your name recognition will give us a lot of benefits. The other thing that I want to mention, though, is that we are working on some more, the endorsement committee is working on some more interviews, possibly as early as this coming Wednesday, the 10th. And we're just working with the candidate to see if that's possible. I'm just going to reiterate, if you are interested in observing any of these interviews that we have, we will announce them. And if you want to have access to the questionnaire and want to join the interview as an observer, then I put our email in the chat. You just reach out to us. You know, we just have to validate that whoever's asking is actually a member of the 32nd, and then give you opportunity to look at the questionnaire and at least observe. You will not participate in the interview process, but you will be able to observe it. And ahead of time, if you have a question that you want us to entertain, we could probably do that. But we don't know, you won't be able to know what's going on with the candidate unless you join the meeting and watch what we do. So again, the email is up in the chat if you're interested at any point of being able to observe any of the interviews that we do. Thanks.
Thank you, William. Elizabeth.
Yeah, for the good of the old order. I want to thank you, Chris. I think I trust your management in monitoring these meetings. I never knew of one of the PCOs. His name was Andrew when he was speaking. I was listening to him. I don't value what I hear, and I heard someone interrupt saying keep it civil. I'm just going to say that tone policing needs to stop. If we have an issue, check with Chris, because a lot of people run because they have an issue with the incumbents. And if this is not going to be a space to talk about frustrations for incumbents, this is not a Democratic Party. And talking about news from Ted is comical. Who puts out slander? The Linwood has been hurt. Linwood has,
Elizabeth.
I'll finish up, but I'm just saying the part with news starts in local news, and there's been suppression of truth even with this group. So if we're going to talk about being fair, we have to address our own house first. And I'm just going to say whoever started tone policing my recommendation is to give an apology, if anything, to the person and anyone else, because I'm over the tone policing.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Jenna.
Hi, everyone. I just wanted to provide a quick update from Edmond City Council. We recently finalized our schedule for budget discussions this year. I strongly encourage everyone to come out and be a vocal participant. Our council meetings are on Tuesday nights at 6 p.m. As budget season draws forward, we might have special meetings, and I'm happy to share those with you. I think that local engagement is very, very important. So as one of your council members and my colleague Will Chen, I'm sure he'll agree, we want to see active participation from our local Democrats and make sure that the voice of the majority of the people in this district who overwhelmingly vote blue is heard in the local political arenas. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Hamad.
So I did want to bring up this NDAA that was proposed for the fiscal year to 2027 by the Senate, actually the House Armed Services Committee. There is a section 224 in it. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but that section basically integrates the US military with the military of an genocidal country, that is Israel. It's relevant to us because the names on that bill are Mike Rogers, who's the Republican chair, and then the ranking committee member, who is Adam Smith of our Washington state delegation. There is an emergency resolution that's being worked on right now to basically try and condemn this. I believe it's still in progress, but if anybody's interested in looking at that resolution, I could share that link in the chat as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat. And then France, and then Will.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to support what Ted said about the news takeover, and this is exactly what happened in Hungary by Orbán. And I don't know what we can do about it except elect officials that will do anti-monopoly regulations again. I don't know how else to do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat.
But did you just call me? Or
I did, yes.
You just spoke. I think I'm next, Chris.
Oh, France, yeah, sorry.
So I just wanted to say welcome to Janice, and whatever nervousness you might have about being a PCO, you will find that it is a really rewarding. I mean, I know my neighbors on either side and across the street. I know other neighbors, we wave when they walk by. But when you actually are talking at their front door, and I was a PCO for the 45th for like a dozen years. And when I went around to tell people that I was moving, they were like, they were heartbroken. I mean, I had one couple who insisted on inviting me to their back patio to have a margarita to toast the last time that we would talk together. And I learned he was Italian American, she was Swedish American, and the interchange between those two cultures was quite wonderful. And I never would have known that because they were 4 or 5 blocks away from where I lived if I hadn't been a PCO.
Thank you. Cool.
Thank you. Will.
Well, you're muted.
All right, can you hear me now? I want to invite everybody to the Dragon Boat Festival that's put on by the Asian Service Center. It's going to be on July the 31st. I have a flyer here. Next time when you see me, ask for one. It's a lot of fun. It's a cultural diversity. We're going to have the police race against the firefighters. It will be also available for people to sign on to paddle the boat and enjoy the summer and just networking and enjoy the cultural performances. It will be from 4 p.m. to around probably 8 p.m. with food and performances and Dragon Ball. So just want to welcome everybody to join this fun event. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Is there any further good of the order? Sally.
Yes, I wanted to thank Ahmed for bringing up the issue of the NDAA and 224 that Adam Smith is co-sponsoring. I mean, I'm just in disbelief that Congress is going to allow or could allow, unless it's fought back, our defense budget to merge with Israel's defense budget. So it can't be traced. Nothing can be traced. I mean, this has never happened, and how it is happening without any press, without any discussion. I mean, I think the Washington State Democrats need to censor Adam Smith immediately for this move that he's making.
Thank you. Nick.
There we go. I just want to thank all the PCOs for joining up, and we're gonna kill it this year. I have a good feeling. But also this Saturday at Linwood City Hall is going to be our city's first City Pride. We're going to be raising the flag. We're going to have food trucks, vendors. One of my colleagues, Isabel Mata, is going to be emceeing the event, so it should be super fun, super exciting. I hope to see some of you there. That's it. Thanks.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Yeah, I just wanted a point of clarification. It's going to be the third Pride. It's the first branded city Pride, but the first Pride happened 3 years ago. Last year was miserable failure. And then this is the third one. So it's just a branding, but it is the third Pride event in the city with a long history of activism in the LGBTQ community. But first time of this brand being in City Hall. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any further good of the order? With that, this meeting is adjourned. We will keep this on for a while in case people want to